Okay, students, I hope you can see the PowerPoint slide, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So pricing, okay, how a company can manage demand by way of pricing. Okay, we were learning, so we were considering the example of multiplexes. So to shift some part of the high demand from the weekend to the weekdays, so these multiplexes charge a lower price for the seat, but movie will be same air condition, okay, same screen, but the ticket price will be as low as like 100 or 120 rupees, okay, for example. And on weekends, same movie, same seat, same air condition, same sound system will cost you about 200 to 220 rupees or more. Okay, so knowing this, what some percentage the customers do, they prefer to watch the movie, okay, during weekdays. So to some extent the company will be relieved, okay, from struggling with handling the high demand on the weekends, okay. And timing of promotion and pricing changes is important. This is what we learned now, with the example of soft drink, okay, as well as with the example of multiplexes. We learned how a company can manage demand, that is especially increase in demand, okay, by way of proper timing of promotions and pricings. How they can change the promotion and pricing, okay, by time of the week or by time of the year, and still manage demand. When demand increases can result from a combination of three factors. So why demand increases? Okay, so demand increases can result from a combination of three factors. Or for our information, just market growth, okay, because of increased sales and increased market size. The market itself is expanding, okay, so market is growing, market is expanding here. Stealing share, okay, for example, baby care products, see the market is expanding. I told you every year India gives birth to one new Australia, 2.6 crore babies are born in our country. Stealing share, okay, increases sales, okay, but same market size, okay, one competitor is able to acquire a customer of another competitor, so market remains same, okay, but the companies are, okay, attracting the each other's customers, okay. Forward buying, okay, sales will remain same and market size also remains same. As I said, those who want to buy in offer from Soch, okay, so they will buy, but clothes are purchased to wear during the festival of Deepavali. So what those customers may do, they may buy the clothes in July or August itself when the company gives the highest discounts. So they buy and keep the dress and wear it for festive season. It is possible. So we call it forward buying. Even Amazon.com in America, for example, they encourage forward buying for their customers, okay, during the month of November. During the month of December, it's a Christmas season, the only biggest festival, okay, the demand will be so huge, okay, the company literally struggles to make the deliveries or meet the demand. So to handle that predictable variability in demand, Amazon, okay, encourages customers for forward buying, means they give great offers during the month of November for the customer, so that some percentage of customers can buy in, make their Christmas shopping in November itself. So we call it forward buying. Sales increase, okay, sales for the company remain same and market size also remains same. Okay, so with that, okay, so a small chapter, okay, so sales and operations planning in supply chain. Okay, we learned how it can be done by way of managing supply and managing demand. Okay, so if you have any doubts, I will entertain them in the next class. You please write your question and keep it. But let me take attendance now. Okay, see, there are 55 students present now, 52. I don't understand. Okay, what is the problem? If I could get only the names of absent students, I can save time on account of attendance. But anyway, it's a mandatory to take attendance. Okay, so Nishad, your attendance, please. Nishad absent. Aditya.
Present, sir.
Okay. Aishwarya.
Present, sir.
Akshata.
Present, sir.
Akshay Pujari. Akshay Pujari is absent. See, don't type in chat box. If somebody types, you tell me orally. I won't be able to check both. Huh? Akshay Pujari. Akshay Pujari absent. Akshay Kulkarni.
Present, sir.
Yeah, Akshay Koradkeri.
Absent, sir.
Yeah, Ankita.
Present, sir.
Anusha. Apeksha.
Present. She was present in the plant class, sir.
Yeah, Apeksha present. Arpita.
Present, sir.
Ashutosh.
Sir, Akshay Pujari present, sir.
Akshay Pujari present. Marked present. Yes. Then Ashwini.
Yes, sir.
Prasad. Prasad absent. Supriya.
Present, sir.
Divya.
Present, sir.
Gautam.
Present, sir.
Geeta.
Present, sir.
Geetanjali.
Present.
Hanumantarai.
So Gurraj present, sir.
Gururaj is present. Gururaj, correct. Gururaj is present. Hanumantarai, what about him?
Yes, sir.
Present. Bhimaya.
He's absent,
Present,
sir.
sir.
Present. Kalaya.
Present, sir.
Karthik.
Hello.
Sir.
Karthik present. Manjur.
Yes, sir.
Manoj.
Sir, present.
Yes, sir.
Meghna Kalburgi.
Present, sir.
Somebody is trying to say I am present, sir. Who is that?
Bhimaya, sir.
Bhimaya is marked present. Yes.
Thanks.
Then Meghna Lokhande.
Present, sir.
Nagaratna.
Present, sir.
Nandan.
Present, sir.
Navya.
Present, sir.
Nidhi.
Yes, sir.
Nikita.
Present, sir.
Pooja.
Present, sir.
Pradeep. Pradeep. Absent. Pramod.
Yes, sir.
Pranjali. Pranjali is not
Is
present.
present, sir.
Pranjali is present.
Is
also.
present.
Prashant.
Yes, sir.
Then Prema. Not present.
Present, sir.
Yeah, present. Priya.
Present, sir.
Rahul.
Present, sir.
Ram.
Present, sir.
Rohit.
Yes, sir.
Varsha.
Yes, sir.
Present, sir.
Samuel. Absent. Sharan.
Present, sir.
Charayu.
Present, sir.
Shilpa.
Present, sir.
Shreya.
Present, sir.
Srinidhi.
Present, sir.
Then Shruti. Shruti is not present. Then Shweta.
Present, sir.
Is
Shruti
present,
is
sir.
present. Shweta Kokane is also present. Shweta Kalkeri. Shweta Kalkeri. Absent. Snehal.
Present, sir.
Then Suchitra.
Present, sir.
Sudarshan.
Yes, sir.
Sudha. Sudha. No. Suman.
Yes, sir. Present, sir.
Maru. Maru. No. Vaishnavi.
Present, sir.
Vaishnavi. Vishal.
Present, sir.
Sharadhi.
Present, sir.
Okay, anybody who skipped attendance?
Sir, Pranjali, sir.
Pranjali marked present. Shweta Kalkere is absent, right?
Sir, Shruti, sir.
Shruti is marked present.
Sir, Shruti, sir.
Shruti is marked present. Okay.
Sir, Geetanjali.
Geetanjali. You are also marked present. Okay. So I hope
Okay,
everybody's
sir,
attendance
thank
is
you.
clear. You're welcome. Okay, dear students. Okay, so that's the end of class. Okay, so good morning, everyone, and welcome to the online class of corporate finance. This is Dr. Mahesh M. Wanjeri, Assistant Professor from Department of Management Studies, SDM College of Engineering and Technology, Dharwad. Okay, so dear students, okay, so we have in the previous class, we have started chapter number 2 from unit 1. So about time value of money. Okay, so if you can recall that a rupee earned today is not the same compared to a rupee earned tomorrow, because over a period of time a rupee loses value. So in such a case, in case of corporates, companies, so where they invest in different projects in present, say for example purchase of a machinery to manufacture goods, okay, they have to pay the cost of the machine in present. Okay, but this machine is going to generate a revenue over a period of time in future. Company will use this machine, manufacture goods, sell and earn revenue. So this machine is going to generate revenue for the company in future over a period of time. Every year the company is going to generate revenue for some years. So the sum of all the future revenues put together, okay, and the present cost of the machine, you cannot compare together, because what you are going to earn in future, what the company is going to earn in future is not equal to the present sum. So you need to convert those future revenues into their present value, then compare the returns with the cost of the machine. So if the revenues are greater than cost of the machine, decide to invest in the project. Okay, but after converting the future values into present, so if that revenue is lesser than the cost of the machine, do not invest in that project. So this is how the time value of money concept is used in financial management or corporate finance to make decisions. Why this decision has to be made? So that this decision has to be made in a way which can maximize the wealth of the shareholders. So with this background, okay, so let me go to solving numerical problems. Okay. Students, can you see this PDF file?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So I hope I gave you all the instructions yesterday regarding writing down the numerical problem solutions to numerical problems. Okay, so now I will dictate only to that extent you write. But yeah, first thing is heading. Unit 1, Introduction to Financial Management. You have to write, you should have written already, yesterday I told. And chapter 2, Time Value of Money. Okay, so until here, the types of techniques, you will get the information in PowerPoint slides. So you have to start writing only from, okay, the numericals point of view. Okay, so after writing this heading, Unit 1, Introduction to Financial Management, chapter number 2, Time Value of Money, you also write the date for today. You also write today's date. Okay, so I gave you some time. I hope you wrote unit number 1, Introduction to Financial Management. Below that, chapter number 2, Time Value of Money, and you also wrote the date, today's date. Okay, then you can write this. I'll wait. There are 2 techniques for doing this. You write this. What I'm saying, you write. There are 2 techniques for doing this. Okay, you write instead of this one, you write Roman 1. I think that is better. Or okay, I'm sorry, you write the same number, because this number will also matter actually. the numbers, sub numbers, okay, subdivisions and so on. So you write the same number. So you write 1 compounding, write the same number, write 1 compounding and 2 discounting, okay, into discounting. So I hope you wrote this much. Okay, I hope you wrote this much. Okay. So then you leave 1 or 2 lines. You write the first heading again, compounding technique. Write the first heading, compounding technique. Use the same number as written in the PDF file. Okay. So now I'll dictate, though it's typed here. Okay. You write below 1 sentence for compounding technique. So I will dictate now. Interest is compounded. Interest is compounded, comma, when the amount earned, interest is compounded, comma, when the amount earned on an initial deposit, when the amount earned on an initial deposit, when the amount earned on an initial deposit becomes part of the principal, becomes part of the principal at the end of, becomes part of the principal at the end of, becomes part of the principal at the end of the first compounding period, at the end of the first compounding period. See, I have explained this yesterday. I hope you can remember. Okay. Now there are 2 situations. One is where there is single cash flow, and another situation where there is series of cash flows. Okay. So where there is single cash flow, so you write below the sentence what you wrote, leave 1 line, it's a subheading. You write this heading, capital A, future value of a single cash flow, future value of a single cash flow. See, when you write this systematically in this order, when you refer during the exam time, it will become very easy for you to understand. If you write only numericals, you will not even get the gist of what it is. Because when we learn these techniques 1 by 1, they are very easy. But in examination, you have to study them all together and you don't know from which technique the numerical problem will be given. Okay, so that's the reason you write this way. So capital A, future value of single cash flow. Future value of single cash flow. Okay. I had told yesterday the example of fixed deposit. One amount, a single amount of deposit, okay, for 5 years. Okay, it goes on earning interest over a period of 5 years. And we also understood the concept of annual compounding through this illustration. It was not a numerical problem, it was an illustration. Okay, now you write this equation. Write this equation. Capital A is equal to, leave 1 line and write this equation. Capital A is equal to capital P. See, this capital or small letter are important. Remember, capital A is equal to capital P into bracket 1 plus small I. A is equal to capital P into bracket 1 plus small I, bracket complete, raised to small n. Bracket complete, raised to small n. Okay. Then you write below where A is equal to amount at the end of period, or that is nothing but the future value. In bracket you can write future value. Capital A is equal to amount at the end of period. Into bracket you write future value. Okay, that's it. Below, capital P is equal to principal at beginning of period. Capital P is equal to principal at beginning of period. I hope you are with me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then small I is equal to rate of interest. Small I is equal to rate of interest. Next, small n is equal to number of years. Small n is equal to number of years. So everybody, see what I'll do is every time I ask now onwards, it will be a disturbance because many students, like 5 to 10 students reply. It's a good sign, okay, that you are interactive. Okay, there is no pin drop silence at least. But only, okay, now onwards, what you have to do, only those who have not completed writing have to say, sir, not yet completed. Otherwise, I'll go ahead. That's it. So please remember this method of interaction. If you already written everything what I dictated or asked to write, it's okay. No need to reply anything. Those students who are lagging behind in writing have to say, speak, sir, I have not completed writing. Please wait. That's it. So now remember, okay, that if manually we have to calculate, okay, the annual compounding, it will go like this. It is a calculation for only 3 years. In previous class, I illustrated. What about for 10 year, 15 year? You simply cannot go on doing this way. It will consume a lot of time and that increases chances of error. So with this formula, okay, so it becomes easy for us to calculate the future value of a single cash flow. So let us consider a small numerical problem for the purpose. Okay. Yeah, before that, 1 minute. So you also need to write one sentence where you wrote small n is equal to number of years. Below that you write. Okay, below that you write, to simplify compound interest calculations. Okay, to simplify compound interest calculations, please write, to simplify compound interest calculations, compound interest tables, compound interest tables, I repeat, compound interest tables, okay, for values 1 plus I raised to n, okay, into bracket 1 plus I raised to n, for values into bracket 1 plus small I raised to n small n, okay, for wide range of okay, small I and small n, okay, small n have been compiled. To simplify compound interest calculations, compound interest tables for values into bracket 1 plus small I raised to small n for wide range of I and n have been compiled. I is rate of interest and n is number of years. So when you write the formula, say here, don't write now, just see. When you write this formula to solve a problem, actually what we do, we fill the values, p how much, okay, as you can see here, then we fill the values of small I and small n. But you need not simplify this, or you need not even write this for that matter, but only for clarity I have written here. You need not even write, simply you can write the formula p into bracket 1 plus I raised to n. Okay, so as I said, you need not simplify this value of 1 plus I raised to n, that is at the rate of okay, 5% interest for a period of 15 years, for example. What is the value? This value can be obtained from the time value tables which I have given to you, and these time value tables will be given to you during the IIT tests as well as during semester end examinations. You should remember this. Okay, so this is what I am talking about. To simplify compound interest calculations, compound interest tables for values into bracket 1 plus I raised to small n for a wide range of I and n have been compiled. Okay, so you write one sentence there, you can underline it if you want. So So below the sentence, you write one more sentence. Use table A1. You write as it is. Use table A1 in appendix 1. Use table A1 in appendix 1. The compound sum of 1 rupee. The compound sum of 1 rupee. So all these values are for 1 rupee. So the compound sum of 1 rupee. So using that value, you have to find out how much for your P, that is the principal in the beginning of the year. So if you multiply that, simply you will get your future value. That's it. Okay, so I hope everybody wrote use table A1 in appendix 1, the compound sum of 1 rupee. Okay, so in this, yes, Keshav?
Sir, using 1 rupee value, we will find other values, sir.
No, can you see this PDF file or not?
Yes, sir, I can see, sir.
What
but,
I have
using-
what I have highlighted, you have to just write that.
Okay, sir.
I'll show you how to use the table and what are the values.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so after writing this, okay, now below you write this problem. Do not write the solution. Okay, looking and writing is different. Understanding and writing is different. Remember. Okay, so you write this problem. Just say leave a line and write problem. Leave a line and write problem. Next line you write Mr. X wishes to find out. Mr. X wishes to find out how much. Mr. X wishes to find out how much his savings. How much his savings of 1,000 rupees. How much his savings of 1,000 rupees will accumulate to TO, will accumulate to in 15 years, in 15 years at 5% rate of interest, in 15 years at 5% rate of interest. Okay, so students, I think this is the meeting which I started in last class. So once it ends, I'll start, you can log out and log in the same meeting. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in the meanwhile, you can write you leave one line. Once you write the problem, leave one line and say solution. Leave one line and write solution. And you write the equation. And you write the equation. A is equal to P into bracket 1 plus